Hello students, my name is Professor Kraus and I am going to be your professor for Introduction to Christianity for the first session here in fall 2024. I will be leading our class for both the in-person and online. And so let me introduce myself, give you a few facts about myself before we dive into what the course is going to look like and what you can expect. I have been teaching here. This is my 5th year at Carolina University. I am 42 years old and I've been married for 19 years to Mandy. I've got 4 kids ranging from 16 all the way down to 10. I live in King, North Carolina, which is about a 25-minute drive. If you know where Pilot Mountain is, it's right before that. I went to school originally to be a teacher and then actually went into the ministry. So I am a pastor also is my main job. But then some doors opened after finishing my degrees that I was able to come and teach at Carolina University. I do enjoy reading. I like running, like hanging out with the kids and watching them play sports and do other things. Love board games. Hopefully I'll even be leading a game night at Carolina U one of these upcoming weeks and would love for y'all to come out. But anyways, that's just a little bit about me. I will likely be getting more into my life through some of our videos. These videos, of course, are going to be for both the in-person students and also the online students. We have the exact same lectures. These lectures, as I will show you in just a little bit, are going to be uploaded every weekend before the week starts. So let's say that our starting day is Monday for the class and our weeks end on Sunday. That each weekend before a week starts, I will have all of the videos already posted online. These are YouTube videos. There's going to be links in your My Carolina website that you can click on, you watch, and they will prepare you for the reading quizzes. They'll prepare you for the final exam, and hopefully they'll be interesting whether or not you are actually taking this course because you wanted to or it is a requirement, which is something I understand about this course. For many of you, this is not a course that you would naturally want to take. But it is something that you have to take at Carolina U. But I hope that by the end of it, even if you do not believe everything that is taught in the course, that it will at least be beneficial. If anything, one of the main things I'm trying to do in this course is help all of us learn how to think differently, to think for ourselves and to be able to receive arguments, think them through, and then dismantle them if we need to, or accept them if we need to. So let's look at some of the stuff I have here for us in our class. As you can see, fall 2024, this is going to be for the first session. So this course is going to run from, I think it's August 26th through October 13th for in-person and online. Notice it's going to be the exact same syllabus for in-person and online students. This is my phone number that you can use in case of emergencies. Other than that, please email me. I will get back to you within a day. If for some reason I have not gotten back to you in a day, please do not feel shy about re-emailing me. I have 2 courses. I have lots, close to 75, 80 students total, I believe. So it is easy for emails to slip through the cracks. And so I do not want you to be hanging on wondering if we have class or some kind of other question. Hopefully, I'm going to answer 95% of your questions here in this introductory video, and then that will save us all some time. For in-person students, we will be meeting Deeds 105, Mondays 10:30. They've set aside 10:30 to 11:45. It's going to be closer to 10:30 to 11:30, if that, most of the weeks. And we'll get into what these in-person classes are going to look like. But for those of you who are online, if you ever need me for anything, send me an email. We can set up a Google Meet or a phone call, something like that. Maybe even if you're close enough and you want to meet in person, I can do that. Whether it's course related or it's life related, I want to let you know that I'm here for you. Course description. This is a very introductory overview of Christianity. There is going to be a special emphasis on the foundations. That's what most of these lectures are going to cover. The foundations of what it means to be Christian, to believe what Christians believe. There will also, throughout the course, as we talk about Christian beliefs, also be objections that other religions might have, and we'll work through those together. We're going to be using lectures. For in-person students, class discussion. For those of you who are online, you're going to have a discussion forum that you're going to have to use for your attendance where you can discuss certain ideas. And I'm going to be showing certain videos in the lectures. And that's really the main thing we're going to be doing. This is supposed to be a freshman or sophomore course. And so this is not a very difficult course when it comes to the course load that you're going to receive, like the assignments, the reading, and things like that. But it is a college course, and so there's going to be a lot of responsibility put on you. Right here are the objectives you can look and find on your syllabus. Real quick before I forget, this is kind of what your My Carolina is going to look like as a student. This is the student view right here. Anytime you want to find your syllabus, there is a syllabus tab over here on the left-hand side. You click on it, download it, anything like that, and you will be right there. So if you're wanting to know how to go back to your syllabus when it comes time, that's how you do it. We have 3 course books. In the past, students have been able to find some of these for free online. In fact, I think for sure you can find Mere Christianity, C.S. Lewis. I think you can find that online for free. I don't know exactly where. But there's going to be different covers. You can buy them paperback, hardback. You can buy them on your Kindle. You can buy audiobook as long as you're able to listen or read the chapters that are assigned each week. So you've got The Reason for God by Timothy Keller. This is a very, very scientific, logical type look at Christianity and some of its objectives. The subtitle is Belief in an Age of Skepticism. So Tim Keller wrote this. He has since passed, but he wrote this book as a pastor in New York dealing with lots and lots of skeptics. C.S. Lewis. Mere Christianity. This is going to be a book that a few of you are probably really, really going to like, and a lot of you are probably going to hate, because C.S. Lewis never goes head on into an argument. He goes lots of loops. He's trying to teach us how to think critically. It's one of my favorite books for that reason, and it's going to be our guide when we look at explanations for who God is, for things like morality, what is religion, that sort of thing. And then Basic Christianity is a very simple book, but it covers the basic beliefs of Christianity, which will come in handy towards the end of our course, and that's where you're going to see most of those chapters assigned. Those are going to be your 3 main books. There's also going to be assigned reading from the Bible. You can just download it on your phone for free, or look it up on your laptop, or you can check out a copy. You don't necessarily have to buy the Bible, but if you want to, then you can surely do that. Let's go over our 4 main course assignments. You heard me right. You only have 4 main assignments. Number 1 is you have your reading quizzes. This is going to be based on your assigned reading throughout the week, and each student is required to read what is assigned, and then you're going to take a quiz consisting of 3 to 4, maybe 5 or 6, depending on how much reading you have, questions from the reading, and it's going to be taken directly from the reading. I'm never going to try to trick you. It's going to be the main ideas from the chapters, okay? So if you read the book, you're going to be fine. If you don't, you're going to struggle. These questions are going to be true, false, multiple choice, or even short answer. The quiz is going to open like 9 o'clock in the morning on Thursdays. It's going to close Saturday. Notice, Saturday at 11:30 p.m. All right? So make sure, like for example, if you're an athlete and you're taking this course, everybody's going to receive grace from me in this course. There's going to be things in your life that are going to creep up, and you're going to miss assignments. You're going to turn in stuff late. Okay. But if you know that something's due on Saturday 11:30 and you have travel, you're traveling to tournaments or traveling to play games and stuff like that, and you know you're going to be back, not going to be back in time, then make sure you do it before Saturday. Because notice, it's open from Thursday until Saturday. So if you do the reading and you listen to the lectures, go ahead and take the quizzes. Because they're going to be very simple questions taken straight from that. These quizzes are going to begin week 2, because I know some of you will not be able to get your books in time, and so I wanted to make sure week 2. Now, the main assignment for this course is not even like the final exam. It's these interaction papers. Students must submit a paper interacting, that's the main word you're going to keep on hearing me say, interacting with one or more of the main ideas from the reading for each week. So you have assigned reading, and each reading I have chosen a central idea in the example of chapter in the first week, or a section of reading. So and the idea is you are going to read all the reading. You're going to pay special attention to these assigned chapters that you find right here, and then you are going to write a 1-page paper. Notice right here, 1 page, single space, 12-point Times New Roman font. I write and read enough. I will know immediately if you're trying to use 13, 14, 15, that sort of thing. Just 1 page, single spaced. You are going to agree, disagree, or further reflect on something that you read. This is the point of this assignment is to ensure that you kind of understand what you're reading. You are not going to get more or less points based on whether you agree or disagree. I want to see that you can actually read material, comprehend it, and then either agree with something or disagree, and then the way you're going to do it. And in your agreement or disagreement, we're not going to do personal attacks on the authors. We're going to attack or agree with their ideas. And so if you think that C.S. Lewis is totally bonkers for one of the ideas he writes in his book, explain why. That's how you get a good grade. If you think that he's correct, then tell me why you think he's correct. So if all you do, and I'll give students one warning, I'll write back to you and say, hey, you need to rewrite this. If you just summarize, I don't need you, for example, in week 2, you're going to be reading Mere Christianity, and the way that he breaks down his one book is there are 4 different books within a book, and these are 2 and 3 page chapters, most of them. But the main idea of week 2 is going to come from book 1, chapters 3 through 5. All right? So you can just pull one main idea that he focuses on and interact with that, or you can take 2 or 3 main ideas. But I don't want you to just summarize it and tell me what he wrote. I've read this book more times than I can count. I know what he wrote, I know what he believes, but I want to see what you think and how you can interact with it. All right? These are the only topics you're to write on. So for week 2, if you write on another part of the assigned reading, then you're going to get a 0. And you're going to write me and say, hey, why did I get a 0? I turn to the paper, I'm going to say, because you didn't follow the syllabus. Because as it says in the syllabus, these are the specific topics that I need you to write on. Notice, right from the very beginning, week 1, we are starting, even if you don't have your books, because rather than writing on a chapter, you're going to talk about in your paper what is truth. I am going to go over a lecture where I'm going to introduce the idea of truth. Can you know truth? What is truth? And then you can build on that. You can interact with what I say. But in the end, you're going to write an interactive paper, agreeing, disagreeing, or further reflecting on the ideas from your reading. Notice there's no week 7. These are also due Saturday evening by 11:30. That gives me all of Sunday evening to grade these and get them back to you. If you do not receive any comments from me, then that means you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. If you receive some comments like, hey, your paper's too short, your paper's too long, you didn't interact with the idea, then you can correct or that sort of thing. If you get a really bad grade, which you probably won't, but if as long as you're interacting with material, you're going to do fine. Now, the larger sort of assignment that you have, let's see here, interview and paper, and you're going to see the student interview sheet over here. Each student must interview someone, here's key, from a different religious background. You are not going to interview someone who believes or has the same worldview that you do. That is an instant fail. The main goal of this interview is to help students develop a better understanding of what others believe and how their beliefs are similar or different from their own. So for this interview, students must use the provided interview sheet. Okay? All you have to do is go into your MyCarolina, pull up your resources, and as you see, you're going to see interview sheet. You even have a sample interaction paper. So if you're wondering what I want for that second assignment, the sample interaction papers, this is an excellent one that you could look over and kind of see how they did. But interview sheet, you must use this interview sheet. I've already got it laid out for you with the right margins and everything. You're going to write out the name of who you interview. You're going to write their name, what they say their religion or worldview is. Maybe it's nothing, that's fine. And then how do you know them? It is best not to interview like boyfriends, girlfriends, even, sometimes family members can just be a little weird or, too simple of an interview. It's best to find people that are a little bit outside of your immediate sphere of people, but regardless, you can do that if need be. But I've given you, okay, so let me go back to this first before I say that. After interviewing the person, your interviewee, students are going to fill out their interview sheet with their findings, right? You don't have to write down word for word. You're going to summarize in your paper, you're going to summarize what they believe, how they answer a question, all right? And then you are going to offer specific ways that their beliefs are similar or different from your own. So this is not just an interview and then write down what someone said. This is an interview that then you're also going to interact with based on what you believe. So you can agree, you can disagree, you can further reflect on something they say, but every paper, these interview papers, as you fill these out and then eventually submit them to me, must, number one, have a summary of their answers, not word for word, 12 pages of how they answered it, a summary getting to the really heart of what they believe, then an interaction saying, okay, well this, like for example, number one, here are 4 questions that I've given you that you have to use. All right, these 4 questions you have to use. You don't have to use them in this order, but you've got to use these 4. And then you have to come up with 4 additional questions to answer them, to ask them. These 4 questions very likely will come from them answering these questions because they're going to say something that's going to make you think, oh, I need to ask them about this. Or you don't quite understand what they believe about something, so you are going to follow up with a question. Make sure those questions are not yes or no answers because then you're not going to be able to go very far if they just say yes or no. But Let's give you an example of this. Let's say you have a roommate that believes something different than you do when it comes to religion. So you would sit down and you would ask them, how do you explain why there is something like creation? Why is there something that exists rather than nothing? And based on what they believe, of course, they're going to have an answer. I believe in the Big Bang. I believe in evolution. I believe a creator, a God, or something like that made everything that exists. Well, you might agree with them. You might disagree with them. You might agree with them partly, but disagree with them on the finer points. However you want to do that, you are going to explain that, and you're going to write that in question number 1, and then you're going to move into question number 2. Now, notice here, papers must be 3 to 4 pages single-spaced. So we're not going to double space everything. And when you type in here, right, you don't need to enter 12 times, return 12 times to kind of pad how long your paper is. The reality of this paper for most students in the past is asking 8 questions. If you do this well and you ask good questions and you ask for follow-up questions, then you only need half a page for each of these questions to come to 4 pages, right? So as long as you do a pretty thorough job, you're going to get a really, really good grade on this paper. Do not use excessive spacing. Cannot interview someone of the same beliefs or worldview or religion. If you have any questions, please reach out to me before beginning the paper. Now, this is due like the Sunday before our class ends. But please do not wait to the very end. Every semester, I have 3 or 4 students that wait until the last week and then their interviews fall through. And I sometimes show grace, and then depending on the rest of their coursework, sometimes I deduct points. Because I'm telling you now from the very beginning, this is not a hard assignment. If you immediately just ask around, even within our own class, you can ask people from our own class and say, hey, listen, I believe this. Do you believe the same? And then interview each other. That's usually the easiest way to go about it. Finally, final exam. Students are going to be required to complete a comprehensive final exam. The final exam will focus on the course objectives that are listed in the syllabus and will contain multiple choice, true or false, short answer, and essay questions. Each of those 4 types of questions will be about the same amount of points. They're going to be taken directly from your lectures and your reading. So if you pay attention, you take notes, and you highlight and you read and you are learning, you're going to do great. I am even going to post a review video towards the end of the class that goes over what to expect. So there is no reason for you not to get an A on this exam unless you are literally just not paying attention throughout the rest of the course. The final exam is going to be closed book, and we are going to use Proctor Free. So go ahead. You can go ahead. You ain't got to wait the last second to make sure you have access that you can take Proctor Free. Proctor Free makes sure that you are not cheating, that sort of thing. We've had so many examples in the past of students doing that, so we have to use Proctor Free, unfortunately. But that's the way it's going to go. So let me explain how the course is gonna work here. So as I've said, I'm going to post lectures. These lectures are going to be anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes. They're going to cover all the essential information from our reading. The lectures will prepare you for the final exams. These lectures are, again, for in-person students who are going to come to meet once a week and online students. The exact same lectures. Now, every Monday, those of you who are in-person students, you are expected to show up if you want to be counted present for attendance. I'll have attendance sheets for you to take. But it's also important that you are familiar with the recorded lectures. Now, because we have class on Monday, I don't expect you to sit down and watch all 3, 4, 5 lectures over the weekend. That would be great, but I understand. It's the weekend, okay? But at least look over like the topics of it. Watch one of them, something like that, because that will help generate our discussion. It won't be y'all just looking at me. So this is the reading key that will apply to this course schedule. This is your course schedule. This is what you can expect. So, for example, week 1 starts August 26th through September 1st. What you're watching right now is lecture number 1, Introduction and Syllabus. But for the second lecture, notice you have 2 reading assignments that are kind of be done right before or right after. You have the Bible. If you go back to the key, B, Bible, Genesis chapters 1 through 3, and then you have Reason for God, chapter 3, to learn about what is truth. Recorded lecture 3, what is religion, Reason for God, chapter 1. Lecture number 4 is Christianity, religion, or relationship. Reason for God, chapter 11. All right, so these are the readings that are expected of you to read. They are testable. They are going to be on the final exam, and they're also going to be covered in, usually in some way, going to be covered in the lectures. Now, so in the in-class discussion, day one, Monday, it's a little tricky having it on Monday, but for y'all who are going to be in-class students, we're going to show up, there's going to be an attendance sheet. We're going to look over the syllabus briefly, answer any questions, and then we're going to talk about this introduction, what is truth, okay? It's going to be a different discussion than just the lecture that's already recorded. For those of you who are online, from August 26th through September 1st, you are going to be watching these recorded lectures, and then you are going to go online to My Carolina U, and you are going to work on a discussion forum. And the discussion forum is how the school has chosen to grade attendance or to do attendance for online students. And I'll show you how to do that now. If you look right here, you are going to first, to access all of your lectures, as you can see right now, you have lecture 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you can actually get super far ahead if you want. But for week 1, you have lecture 2, 3, and 4 that when you click on it, it's going to take you to YouTube and you can watch those videos. For those of you who are online students, once you have watched all 4 videos, you are going to go to discussions, okay? And it is not open to you yet. So let me show you from my point of view what it's going to look like. Since this is the wrong. Those of you, let me say this real quick. Those of you who are taking BT 150, like you're in class, you're not going to see this discussion forum because you are not an online student. But for those of you who are online students, after you watch the lectures, after you do all of your reading, you're going to come here to discussions. You are going to find week 1 attendance posts. This is how I'm going to take attendance. As it says right here, you are required to watch all of the videos, and then you're going to write a 500 to 700 word post summarizing and interacting with the main ideas of the lectures. That's how I know that you've watched them, and you're not just saying you have. You've got to post it. And if you just copy and paste from a fellow student, like a classmate or whatever, the course, it's going to tell me that you do that, so it's not going to work and you'll get 0. So don't do that. You've got to do your own work. You then also have to interact with another student's post with a 50 or 100 word response. This can be agreement. You've probably all done discussion forums before. You find someone else's post, you read it over, and then you say, I agree with Susie for these 3 reasons, and then you are done. Your first post for each week are due by Friday. So by Friday of the week, of next week, you need to have written, you need to have posted in the forum a 500 to 600 word post about all the lectures you have read, you've watched. And then you have Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday to then respond to one other person. If you do not do that, you're counted absent. And if you get counted absent enough times, of course, you fail or you get a bad grade. So anyway, covering that. That's that. But each week, this is kind of broken down. The in-class discussion does not apply to the online students, of course. But for those in-class students, this is what we're going to be discussing. I will say, let me see here. There was a mistake here in one of them. I wonder how that happened. Okay, so as we're going to see, September 2nd is Labor Day. So this Monday right here, we will not have class. It just not updated. And I'll make sure y'all know that. But yeah, you can see some of the topics we're covering, the reading you're going to be tested on, the reading to have done. Yeah, and that's kind of it. There is going to be no in-person class for week 6. I'm going to be out of the country. Those lectures will be posted, and I'll be covering all the work. And then finally, the final exam review and stuff like that. So that's that. Course-specific policies, you can read over that. Here's the use of AI too. We have the equipment and software we have now is designed to pick up on AI. So if you can use AI, to get something started or whatever, but if it writes your paper, we're going to find out and we're going to flag it, and then your other professors are going to, it's not worth it. If you need help with something, reach out to me before you use another student's work or use AI to do all of your work. There's the breakdown of how everything is graded. Let's see here. There's a lot of information in the syllabus about, interaction and communication, how quickly I need to get back with you. And then course attendance, we've already talked about it. In-person classes on those Mondays, to be counted present for the week, you've got to show up, you got to stay, and you got to fill out a attendance sheet. For those of you who are online, you've got to watch all the lectures just as the in-person students are going to do, and then you've got to do a discussion forum post that takes the place of that. Other than that, I believe that is all of the syllabus that I need to go over. So if you have any questions about the syllabus, questions about what to do, please feel free to reach out to me as soon as possible so I can make sure I answer that. If you have a question, other students probably have a question, and I want to make sure everybody feels good and comfortable about it. And I will be in communication with all of you. I'll be praying for you. Hope you have a great semester. Look forward to meeting a lot of you very, very soon. Until the next time, God bless.